Hi, Joe from Joe's Firearm Safety here. Today we're going to be looking at the semi-automatic action firearm that you'll be using during the Canadian Firearm Safety Course. So the very first thing that you have to do whenever you pick up any firearm is go through your ACTS and your prove procedure. To prove this firearm safe, I'm pointing it in my safest available direction. I'm going to remove the ammunition from this firearm, which would mean removing the magazine. To release this particular magazine, we just pull it straight down and it comes out. Once the magazine has been removed, we want to cycle the action open. This will clear the chamber if there was a cartridge in there. Next, I want to lock the action open. This one can be a little bit tricky to lock open. What I'm going to do is I'm going to pull the action all the way to the rear. I'm going to push it in, and as I'm applying that pressure, I'm going to let it go forward a little bit. So something like this. The action is locked open. Now that it's locked open, I can observe my chamber at the very beginning of the barrel. I can verify my feeding path, just a space where the magazine used to be, and lastly I can examine the bore. I like to examine the bore using the cleaning rod. Of course, in the real world you'll want to have a tight fitting patch that fills this barrel completely. And it comes out of the open action. If you don't have a cleaning rod, you could do a visual inspection with the aid of a flashlight or a chamber blocking device. Now to load this firearm, first thing that we have to do is find out what ammunition is compatible with it. There's a data stamp on the barrel. It's just ahead of the rear sight. It says Lakefield Mossberg Mark III Autoloader 22 cal LR. 22 LR, that's the caliber of cartridge that we can use in this particular firearm. Now, a 22 LR is a rimfire cartridge, which means the cartridge itself does not contain the name. So we got to take a look at the box that it's coming out of. So we know that this cartridge will work in this firearm. To load it, I'm going to insert the cartridge into the magazine. I'm looking at the rim of the cartridge, this little notch in the magazine. I push the cartridge down and back, and it gets loaded just like that. Now, with the action still open, I can place my charged magazine into my firearm. I'll release the action by pulling it out. It'll snap closed because it's spring loaded, and the cartridge is now loaded in the chamber. The last step in the loading procedure of any firearm is to engage your safety. The safety on this firearm is a little bit strange. There's a little S carved in the receiver right here, and to activate this safety, pull the action back and push it in right there. There's a little space at the very front of the action. That is the safety on position. And that's the loading procedure for this particular firearm. Now to unload this firearm, all that we have to do is the prove procedure once again. I'll point the firearm in my safe direction. I'm going to remove the ammunition, magazine first whenever possible with the semi-automatic. Now when I open this action, I have to take the safety off, but I want to hold my hand over the magazine well as over the ejection port, just so I don't have cartridges flying all over the room. And the cartridge fell at the bottom. Again, I'm going to lock the action open, then I can observe my chamber, verify my feed path, and lastly examine the bore, either with a cleaning rod or doing a visual inspection. And that's the loading and unloading procedure for the semi-automatic action firearm.